Yo, what's up everyone? It's your boy CrispPurpose back at it again with another Gems of War top 10 video for you guys. Now in this one, we're going to be covering now the top 10 defender troops in Gems of War. Before we covered the top 10 assassins, we looked at the mythic and then the non-mythic options. Now we're going to be focusing on the defenders. Now this is not going to be looking at the mythics separately from the non-mythics. This is going to be putting all of them together because I think the category of defender is a very limited option, and I think there's only a few of them that are really good defenders. All right, so what is the number 10 pick on the list for the top 10 defender troops? Number 10 is Mithrilion. Now, Mithrilion is a construct troop from Kaziel with a 24 mana cost. And this troop right here was a little bit weird when it was released, right? Because of a particular reason. Now, Mithrilion's mana colors are blue, green, and red. His spell is Mithril Fist. He will explode a 3/3 block, then he will gain armor, decent amount of armor, and then he's going to bury a random ally for every skull destroyed when you explode that 3/3 block. Now, that can prove to be very, very good. Why? Because of Mithrillion's traits. His first trait is inscribed. You will gain 1 armor when an enemy casts a spell. He also has a really high amount of spell damage reduction, 50%, with his spell block second trait. And then Mithril Armor is his final trait. He will reflect 75% of skull damage. Now, that right there is a very high skull damage reflect. Now, I should say this. A lot of players were not aware of this when I initially made a team with Mithrilion. Mithrilion actually is able to reflect skull damage behind barrier, right? And I don't know if that's the case for every troop, but I know that with Mithrilion, if he's barriered and the enemy tries to hit him with skulls, the enemy will have that skull damage reflect that 75% reflection of skull damage, which is very potent because if you put a lot of skulls on the board, you're not thinking they're going to match, and you bury your Mithrilion, right there, the enemy will use those skulls and they'll end up killing themselves by hitting you with those skulls. Now, this is going to be the team for Mithrilion. We're going to be having the Doomed Axe right here for converting purple gems to Doom Skulls. And if the enemy has a Doom, we're going to get 5 more, and then we're going to gain mana for each yellow ally. Using it with the Dervish hero class here. I think I'm using it with Dervish simply because Dervish has the ability to Hunter's Mark the enemy along with 10% mana start for all yellow allies. It also has Lightning Strike. I think the Lightning Strike with the Hunt is the main reason I'm using this because I'll get that explosion on the board from those 4+ gem matches. And along with that, I'll be able to Hunter's Mark enemies and deal double skull damage to those enemies that are Hunter's Marked. Orrery is going to be on this team. I think this is the team that I initially put together for Mithrilion when I made that team. I'm using Orrery here, another construct troop, for his final trait, the Astronomy, conjuring a Star Storm, which is a yellow and purple storm at the start of every single turn. It's also impervious, and it has an ability to control the board as well, dealing some AoE damage. In fact, half magic AoE damage, which is fine, and have some board control. And then Thrall is going to be our main mana generator on this team. So the banner here on this team is the Dark Fae banner from the Dark Court faction. This is a +2/1 purple, +1 on yellow. Then we're minusing green because, majority of times Mithrilion will get spell ready off of the massive amount of gems that my Thrall is going to be pulling down off the board. All right, we are in Golvania, and this is the Mythic Battle. Let's see what this top 10 troop looks like. All right, let's match this right here. Get some cascades on the board, and we need to get purple to Thrall as soon as possible. And we have a purple gem at the top. Right, now let's spam down Thrall. Right there, we got an extra turn, and we're going to seek to barrier every single ally here. There we go. So we're all barriered up. And I want to cast this where I do not have any... I want to make sure I don't have any alignment on this. So I'm converting purple to Doom Skulls, right? All right, so let's go right ahead. See if I can slow this down for you guys. Right, and now let's cast it and watch to see what Mithrilion does here. So massive AoE damage, no alignment. Let's see them match a gem. See if they're going to match a skull. Right there, look at him. Big damage right there. If you guys notice, this troop took a massive amount of damage as a result of that skull damage reflect. Something to keep in mind with this troop is that Mythron is able to reflect skull damage even behind the barrier, which is huge. All right, let's speed the game back up and let's use our Rary to control the board right here. There we go. And now we're going to spam thrall again. Now we're going to look for alignment and seek to kill them out. We don't want the game to be too long. We want to run through these battles as fast as possible. One more hit should do it. There we go. Oriri was able to kill out the entire enemy team along with Thrall and the axe and everything really quickly. All right, so that is the number 10 pick on the list. Let's see what's inside this chest. 2 Orpheuses, that's fine. All right, so yeah, Mythron is the number 10 pick on the list for the top 10 Defender troops. What is the number 9 pick on the list? Number 9 is Leonis Tower. Now, the Leonis Tower is a very unique defender option, right? It is the only defender on the list with the invulnerable trait, right? It's completely immune to every status effect in the game. Not even Curse works against this powerhouse right here. And I know you guys knew that back when PvP was in its previous format, Leonis Tower, along with Enraged Kurandara, and any weapon that can bless the hero, along with Leprechaun, was one of the most potent teams you could ever come up against, especially if you're using a Zulgat team to fight against this. Almost impossible to kill this sucker in that game mode at that time. And that's the reason why it sits at this position on the list. And along with that as well, the Leonis Tower is able, it's one of the only defenders in the list, actually one of the only defenders in the game, that is able to counter its own counter. What do I mean by that? Well, tower slayers are a thing in the game, but the Leonis Tower is able to stun tower slayers. Once they're not immune to stun and they don't have fortitude or thick head, the Leonis Tower is able to stun them and take away that Slayer final trait or Siegebreaker final trait of dealing 3 times to 5 times skull damage versus towers. The Leonis Tower will take that away because of its final trait, the Lion's Roar. It will stun a random enemy when matching yellow gems, and it's also able to stun the first 2 enemies and then barrier itself. It's a very unique and powerful defender. And I'm sure you guys have known a long time that Leonis Tower is one of the best for completely stopping tower slayers. All right, so this is the team right here. Thrall, followed by Zulgat, followed by the Bane of Mercy. And this is pretty good for running around different places in Crystara. Simply being because you're immune to almost everything here, and you're going to be cursing enemy teams, allowing you to stun them. And it's pretty powerful. Let's hop into a fight real quick in Golvania, just to show how it works. And then we're going to move on to the number 8 pick on the list. Let's cast this, convert into getting my Thrall spell ready, and we're just going to match gems because they are available, right? They're available, so we're going to take them. Let's kill off Carmella. Got big boy damage right there. Let's spam down, and if we want to go, we can do that. See, barriered up. That is so good. And we can keep on striking them with the Leonis Tower whenever we want to. Getting my Thrall spell ready again, and as you guys can see, barriered, and I'm good. Pretty powerful team right here. Of course, this is a no hero team. I just wanted to showcase the Leonis Tower and showcase what it's able to do. All right, what is the number 8 pick on the list for the top 10 defender troops in Gems of War? Number 8 is Champion of Guard. Now, the Champion of Guard is a powerful troop. It is a human knight with a 20 mana cost. It is on the lowest mana cost possible for a mythic other than the Leonis Tower, I think, right? I think the Leonis Tower is what? What's the mana cost on the Leonis Tower? 16. Yeah, I think the Leonis Tower is the lowest, followed by Champion of Guard. So the Champion of Guard has a powerful spell. It is tend to be overlooked because of its ability to create the gems on the board, and it might not be perfect because the spell Mythic Defense will give a huge amount of armor. In my case, it's 124 armor, and if there are 13 or more skulls on the board, it's going to double the amount of armor right there. You're looking at like 248 armor on this troop, and then it creates those gem spawn. I think troops that are able to control the board and then do something are some unique troops, and this one right here stands out as being very, very unique. I think this is the biggest armor buff other than the Archdeva on any troop. It's the biggest amount of like, what could you say, skill point buff on a troop that any troop is able to put out, right? And this is putting out for itself as opposed to the Archdeva that puts it out for any troop that you might pick on. Then the traits, I should say, not the spell, but the traits for Champion of Guard are decent as well. Spell block, it reduces damage from spells by 50%. Aegis, which is reduction of skull damage by 60%. And it has a Blessing of Guard, it will give all red allies one to all skills, all stats, I should say, at the start of each turn. It's a unique troop. Now, if you're able to buff up your armor on your Champion of Guard, if you have a troop that can use that armor and convert that armor into attack, you have a huge blessing right there, and you can use it to make a pretty potent tank at the top, right? Because he's getting a crazy amount of armor. How can you do that? Ethereal Sentry. Now, Ethereal Sentry is another great tank in the game. It doesn't make the list as in the top 10, but it is really good. So the Ethereal Sentry is going to be the main way in which I'm going to be giving a lot of attack to my Champion of Guard because of his spell, Deny Passage. It's going to increase an ally's attack by their armor. So the stronger their armor is, it's going to give one-to-one boost off of that armor to their attack, which is going to turn them into a complete wrecking ball up front on the team. And he has skull damage and spell damage reduction as well for the Ethereal Sentry. The weapon of choice here is the Doomed Blade. Now, this weapon is going to be converting red gems to Doom Skulls, dealing AoE damage, and of course, giving me a decent amount of mana back to the ally. I'm using this along with the Geomancer class. You can mix this around and use whatever you prefer. I just have the Geomancer here for now, but you can switch it around and use, for example, Thief hero class or any other hero class you think might work. I just slapped on Geomancer because I want to give my Ethereal Sentry a 50% mana start. Thrall is going to be the main generator here. Now, the banner on this team is the Tentacle banner from the Ilithia faction. This is a +2 on purple, +1 on blue. They were minus in green. Only the Champion of Guard uses that, and we're not too concerned about this. Now, one of the things I would prefer sometimes on this is to use classes like Sunspear. Reason why I would use Sunspear is because the weapon is converting red gems to Doom Skulls, right? So you can get a huge convert off of this if you need to. Let's hop into a fight right here in Golvania and test out this pick on the list, Champion of Guard. All right, let's match this down real quick. Get some yellow, and now we're gonna spam Thrall. There we go. I need to spam him again to make sure we get the weapon spell ready. There we go. We have it spell ready. And now, if you want, you can go right ahead, cast this to get more skulls on the board. Then you cast this, and look at it. Huge amount of a huge amount of armor right there. We have about 383 armor on that bad boy. All right, so we're gonna match this, get more mana back to Thrall, and then we're gonna cast the Ethereal Sentry on the Champion of Guard. And there we go. Look at that, man. 456 attack on that bad boy. That's crazy. Now, what we're going to be focusing on is just spamming the weapon to kill these suckers out as soon as possible. If you can't get it, though, you can always convert the board, see if there's alignment, then spam the weapon. All right? And just want to take the skulls and kill them out because you have so much armor, they can't get past it. You have so much of everything, they'll never be able to stop you, man. And one more skull should do it. There it is. Oh, we got it. We got it real quick. Yeah, man. I think this troop is a pretty good troop for this position. Number 8 on the list is good for the Champion of Guard. Now, what is the number 7 pick on the top 10 defender troops? It is the Elemental Sentinel. Now, this one right here is a rare pick, right? It's not easy to acquire, but I think that it has to be mentioned because this troop is the best Sentinel, right, in the Underspire that he could possibly get. And let me tell you why I say so, right? Not only is the spell decent, it's similar to all the other troops. They explode a column, I should say, gain life, and then they're going to create those giant gems based on their color if an enemy is cursed. What makes this so good is that it has the ability to curse entangle. Now, curse entangle right here allows for the ability to negate whatever immunity the enemy has, right? Because troop is cursed, all those immunities are gone. You're not immune to anything anymore. If you're impervious, you're not impervious anymore. If you're immune to entangle, if you had nimble as your trait, you're not immune anymore. You're going to be entangled because of this curse. So this troop applies both the curse and the entangle in one shot once the enemy hits you with skull damage, right? And that right there is amazing because it already has a 50% skull damage reduction, and it's able to entangle you whenever you try and hit it with skulls. So it is a solid troop all the way around, especially because of these traits. And then it also deals double skull damage versus cursed enemies. Now let's adjust our banners here, not our banners, but our medals, right? Let's head back into the fight in Golvania, and let's see how this works out, man. I'll explain the team as I go into the fight here. So up front on the team, we're going to be having the Elemental Sentinel, followed by the Mirage Queen. Not the Queen, the Wild Queen. What am I talking about? Read the thing, man. Come on. The Wild Queen is going to be our second slot. Why the Wild Queen? Because of her Savage Dance spell. She's going to be stealing attack from an enemy, and along with that, she's going to be giving it to the first ally, which is going to be the Elemental Sentinel. Then it's going to be creating a mix of 22 skulls and green gems. The hero is going to be on the team with the Foxglove weapon right here. This is a Volpacia weapon that has the ability to conjure a Leaf Storm in the weapon upgrades. It also has two spells. It will convert all green gems to a chosen color, or it will explode a gem and create 10 green gems. I tend to use the second half of the spell more so than the first half. The class of choice is the Archer Hero class with a 50% mana start, and then the Talents of Nature's Aura, along with I might change that wind speed over to the root trap. But no, I think I do not need the root trap. Why? I want them to try and hit me with skulls so I can entangle that sucker right off the jump. You can also entangle him at the start, but I want to get that curse entangle. Yeah, that is the rest of the team. Leprechaun at the back. Let's go. Explosion, and we want to get troop spell ready. Let's rip off the attack right there. Ooh la la. Let's cast a Foxglove right over here. And now we're going to go Wild Queen. Let him hit us with skulls. There it is. He is now fully entangled and cursed. And as a result, we can do this. Put those giant green gems on the board. Go for the kill again. All right. That is it right there. And I will be right back with the other team. I think someone is knocking at the door. I'll be right back. And let's pick up right where we left off. So I had to hop away from the video for a bit to help out my brother-in-law. He's moving into his new property. But yeah, let's move into the number 6 pick on the list for the top 10 Defender troops. Number 6 is Chief Dargon. Now, Chief Dargon is an easily acquired defender, right? This is an underworld troop from the faction which is Fangmore, associated with the Kingdom of Kitar. It's a Naga monster with a 13 mana cost of red and yellow. His spell is Battle Cry. He will give 56 attack to myself and all allies below me, and he will explode arrow. Now, Chief Dargon allows for his faction to be one of the easiest factions in the game, simply based on the fact that he's just buffing up the attack on himself and every troop below him, which can allow your team to become a complete wrecking ball. Along with that, Chief Dargon has an interesting setup for his traits right here. He has Razor Teeth. He will inflict bleed when doing skull damage. He has Stone Skin, a 50% reduction to skull damage. And Deep Wounds. He will inflict bleed on a random enemy when matching red gems. Now, that right there, you might see it as being not the best of traits, but he has a 50% skull damage reduction. And then along with that, he attaches more damage to the enemy every single time he does skull damage. Matching gems, he attaches more damage as well with those red gems when he matches. And then he makes your team a complete wrecking ball. Now, this is a team that we're going to be rolling with for this one. Thrall on the team, followed by the Doomed Sight, converting all yellow gems to Doom Skulls, dealing AoE damage, and of course, giving mana to the first ally. The Doomed Sight also has Bone in the weapon upgrades, which is a Bone Storm every single time you cast this weapon. The Thief hero class is going to be the the class of choice here simply because of the 50% mana start, the hunt, and along with that, it's stealthy. So they cannot target the hero whenever they are able to cast. And yeah, that's the most that's important. Also, the Rising Shadows, 7% chance to assassinate the last enemy when another enemy dies is a pretty useful final trait right here. All right, so let's back out of here. Let's adjust our medals on this one. All right, let's adjust the medals. Go for all magic on this. What is in my mail over here? What keeps popping up? What do we got? Legendary tasks from Death the Dealer. Let's grab those. And let's grab my tribute. And let's head back into the battle. All right, so that is number 6 on the list. Number 6 is going to be Chief Dargon. Let's go. Let's try out this fight. So first assignment on this, as with the others, is to get mana to your Thrall as quick as possible. There we go. Mana right there. Now we're just going to spam Thrall until we'll get alignment. But before we do so, we can use our Chief Dargon to give everybody on the team a massive amount of attack. And now we're going to be able to rip the entire enemy team with this. You see what I'm talking about, right? That massive buff, even if you don't have alignment, they kill off your Chief Dargon. You're still going to be able to completely slaughter the enemy team because Chief Dargon is ensuring that the entire team is as strong as possible when it comes on to their attack. All right, on to number 5. We're in the midway right now. What is the number 5 pick on the list? That is going to be a tie between the Wall of Tentacles and the Dwarven Gate. Now, there are a number of troops in the game that have this very similar setup for their spells. They will either buff a particular talent or something, you know what I mean? Particularly for the Wall of Tentacles, it will gain armor, boosted by Daemon allies and enemies. All other allies gain 2 magic and 5 mana. Now, these troops all have, if not 9, 10 mana cost, which allows them, as soon as they get spell ready and cast, they will give another ally 5 mana. And then you keep on passing on to the other ally. These troops have a similar spell tactic like Finesse, right? Finesse passes mana on from one Finesse to the other without touching the board. Once you get one Finesse spell ready, it's the same thing when it comes on to the Wall of Tentacles and the Dwarven Gate. And I think that these two construct troops stand in a very unique position. So the Wall of Tentacle is a Daemon construct. The Dwarven Gate is a dwarf construct. Before, we never had a construct class which was able to give a 50% mana start to these troops. But now we do with the Geomancer class. So you're able to start every single one of these troops. So I think the typing for these are all constructs. Let's go to construct. And let's go to base rarity. Let's go all the way to the bottom here and go from the top. So the Wall of Bones stands in the same category. See, it will give attack, gains armor, gives attack to all other allies, and it gives them 5 mana as well. And then, for example, troops like the Fortress Gate have a similar thing, but the Fortress Gate isn't necessarily that close because it doesn't give the mana like the other ones. It has a lower mana cost, but it does not give the mana. But the Dwarven Gate and the Wall of Tentacle, I think, are the best choices in this particular category. And let me show you what you're able to do here. Let's hop into a fight in Golvania. This is the mini boss fight, and I'll showcase to you guys what you're able to do. Now, once you have any of these suckers powered up, the Wall of Tentacle or the Dwarven Gate, you're going to be able to just match a gem, get it spell ready. Once I cast this, both my Dwarven Gates are going to be spell ready. There we go. And you cast the Dwarven Gate, right? And then you cast another one, and there it is. You're just going to be cycling mana here over and over and over again. Let's cast our Ruby Macaque for dealing true damage. Now, these teams are really good for a particular play style. If you're doing your auto play battles, this is a perfect team for you. Almost unkillable because you're just passing mana from one troop to the other, and the Ruby Macaque is dealing true damage to them. So no matter what, you will kill them out eventually. And the troops just tank like crazy. The Dwarven Gate is going to be giving barrier to all those allies, and the Wall of Tentacle is giving your Ruby Macaque more magic and giving all the other allies more magic as well. You see what I'm talking about when it comes down to this. And then the setup for the talents is even better. This has Skull Damage Reflect. It will inflict Tangle when doing skull damage. And especially in an autoplay fight, the Wall of Tentacle is goated. Let me tell you as well, when you're doing class events, the Wall of Tentacle can be so useful if indeed you're doing a class that fits into this troop's typing. And then this one just allows you to tank like crazy, 50% skull damage reduction. If you want as well, you can actually move up a Dwarven Gate to the top and rock it like this. But I tend to prefer doing it like this if I'm showcasing to you guys how the team works. All right, that was the number 5 pick. It's a tie between the Wall of Tentacles and the Dwarven Gate. Now, number 4 on the list on the top 10 best defender troops. Number 4 is Glacon. Now, this troop right here needs no introduction. Glacon is one of the best defenders, best skull converters, period. Right? In the game. Glacon is a Daemon monster with a 20 mana cost. It's on the higher end for a legendary troop, but it's still goated. 20 mana cost of purple and brown from the kingdom of Drak Zoom. The spell is Flash Freeze. He's going to transform yellow gems to blue and then transform all red gems to Doom Skulls. Then he's going to freeze the strongest enemy. He has for his traits insulated, he's immune to frozen. He has ice armor, a 65% skull damage reduction. And he has rancor. He will gain 3 attack when an enemy matches skulls. Now that right there is a solid setup. So every single time they hit your Glacon and he has that 65% skull damage reduction, he's going to be becoming stronger and stronger, being able to completely wreck the enemy team with this troop. Now, this is the setup for the Glacon team. We have Geryon on this team. This is also another converter, which is a monster as well. Doom Song is the spell converting green gems to blue and purple gems to Doom Skulls, draining 2 mana from all enemies. It has a Doom Storm at the start of battle. And then as well, it has Petrifying Venom. It's going to poison and stun a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. The class of choice, I should say, on this team is going to be the Dervish Hero class once again, because this entire team is a monster team, right? Box Strider is here, which is an elemental monster for the main mana generator to get things started on this team. And yeah, you guys know how this works, right? The weapon that I'm using here is the Crystal Axe, and this is a weapon that is notable because it synergizes very well with Glacon and it synergizes very well with Geryon, right? Geryon is converting green gems to blue, Glacon is converting yellow to blue, which is going to allow for a lot of blue gems on the board to get my Crystal Axe powered up. The Crystal Axe also has Dust for the final upgrade, which is a dust storm, a brown storm every single time you cast this weapon. The weapon also creates green and brown, boosted by monster allies. The setup for the monster class is the same. All right, let's hop into the fight. Let's see if we can make this a quick one, man. This is the mythic boss battle against the Great King. All right, so your aim here, once you have Box Rider on the team, is to get mana to your bog. All right, let's match this down. Didn't get spell ready off of that one, but we're not going to worry about skulls because Glacon, 65%, I should say, 65% skull damage reduction. All right, so we're going to cast our Glacon here, and we're going to keep on matching these skulls because Glaceon's going to completely wreck him. There we go. And now, do we have Geryon ready? We have Glacon. Then do we have Geryon? We have Glacon again. Can we convert purple? All right, let's cast Geryon. There we go. Now Glacon. Oh my god, look at this. That's beautiful. Now Geryon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A powerhouse team right there. Super strong, and you don't have anything to worry about with this team. All right, what we get from the chest? 3 more Orpheuses. Oh, it's an Orpheus shower over here. All right, that was the number 4 pick on the list, man. Glacon took the number 4 spot. All right, we're into the top 3 now. What do we have as the number 3 pick on the list for the top 10 defender troops? Number 3 is Ogris. Now, Ogris is one of the meta troops in the game, right? It is meta for bounty events, right? This giant troop from Broken Spire with an 11 mana cost is a solid defender. Why? Ogris is able to get a 50% mana star from the Titan Hero class. Titan Hero class uses a Brown Storm in the talent, so it's pretty easy to get your Ogris spell ready because it uses green and brown. 11 mana cost as well. Can you imagine that? Super low, right? Then the spell is knock knock, that ogre coming through your front door, baby. It will pull myself to the front, and then it will stun the first enemy, and then it will explode. One random gem boosted by my life, right? So if you, it's a 1 to 1 boost, a 10 to 1 boost ratio, I should say. Um, which allows your Ogris, if you put on your life medals, which are your Yasmins, you should be able to get a decent gem explosion from your Ogris right here. Ogris also has a great setup for her trait. Separate apart from the Bounty Hunter first trait, which is critical for bounty events, it also has Stone Skin. It reduces damage from skulls by 50%, and it has I've Got a Door, right? It will summon a Fortress Gate when I die. So it's 100% chance of a resummon right here off of this troop, which is good. So it's like a double tank. You tank with the Ogris first off, 50% skull damage reduction. Then you'll tank once again once a troop dies with your Fortress Gate. Pretty potent final trait right there. This is a setup for the Ogris team. Up front we have Ogris, followed by Mythron. Mythron is the Cosmic Dragon for red, right? This is going to be um, dealing a potent amount of damage to all enemies, then converting 5 red gems to red dragon gems. There's a 10% chance of an extra turn boosted by red gems. It has skull damage reduction, spell damage reduction of 55%, and the power of a meteor. It will give all skill points 1 for red allies when matching red gems. Decent troop. Followed by the glowing core. This weapon is going to be exploding brown gems and granting a random status effect to all construct allies. No constructs on the team, but if indeed, what's her name? Ogris dies, it will summon, Ogris will summon a construct troop, which can be critical in the first slot. Leprechaun at the back of the team for a very, very fast start. All right, the banner on this team, let's take a look at it. The banner here is the bear banner from the Earthscale Kingdom, right? This is a +2 on brown, +1 on red, and we're minusing purple. We can also minus blue, though. Let's go brown minus blue. Brown minus blue. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, minus blue. There we go. Petrified banner. Sounds like a much better banner for this team. All right, let's back out of here. This is the number 3 pick on the list. Ogris, baby. Taking the number 3 slot. Right, now we're going to go ahead and cast our Leprechaun. Super quick start for Ogris. Ogris for the explode. Look at that. The entire board, baby. Ogris again, right? And we got our Meteorian spell ready. Big AoE damage. Ogris once again. Now the core. Right, we have our Cosmic Dragon is almost there. There we go. We got his spell ready. Now AoE damage. Almost dead. One survived. And now let's go with Ogris. There it is. Right? Super tank. There was not even any doubt that we were going to win that fight easily, right? That's how much of a tank Ogris is. 100% chance of a resummon, 50% skull damage reduction. Super powerful troop that you're bringing out here from the bounty event. All right, now we're down to the last 2. Which troop took the number 2 spot in the list for the best defender troop in Gems of War? Number 2 is Zernabog. Now, Zernabog is a newer addition to the game, but let me tell you, this troop right here could take the top spot in many different lists. Why? Zernabog is a daemon construct, right? From the kingdom of Hellcrag. 14 mana cost, purple brown, right? The spell is Earth Tremor. It will create 10 brown gems and explode a magic +1 gems. That's crazy, right? That's a massive generating of brown right here on the board. His traits are huge. He will gain 2 life on 4 or 5 gem matches. He has skull damage reduction of 50%, and he has a deadly, and I can't say, one of the most powerful storms in the game, Dust Plume. Conjure a dust storm when my turn begins. This is a constant brown storm. Unless this sucker gets stunned, you're gonna see brown on top of brown, on top of brown, on top of brown. Now, this allows for you to use this troop with any barrier on brown hero class, specifically majority of the times with Geomancer. But if you can use it with any barrier on brown hero class and tank like crazy. This will tank, your hero will tank, and anything else that can conjure a barrier off of the gems that you're matching, man. This sucker will allow you to be a fortress that nothing can penetrate. Right? Now, this is going to be the team for our Zernabog. Zernabog at the top of the team, followed by the Empress, another very powerful troop, followed by the Gear Slinger weapon. Now, this weapon was added into the game a while back. It will, I think it came in with the Adana rework. It's an Adana weapon. It's a missile. It will deal true damage to 2 random enemies, then create 5 bomb gems. Right? I'm using it along with the Geomancer hero class because I want to give my Zernabog a 50% mana start. The class also has a 50% skull damage reduction, and this is a setup for the talents: Serendipity, Mage Lord, Anti-Magic Sphere, Tactician, Rock Solid, Arcane Surge, and of course Fortitude. And then at the back of the team, we're going to be having the Deep King. Now, the Deep King is a very powerful troop, one that tends to be overlooked a lot, but even in the faction and outside of the faction, this troop is very useful. It's a merfolk from the Sea of Sorrows faction, which is associated with the Merlantis Kingdom. 15 mana cost of blue and brown. Spell is Watery Ambush. It will deal magic +2 true splash damage to 2 random enemies. Submerge myself and a random ally. That right there is a decent setup for a spell. And his traits are Deep Vitality, 9 life when attacking delves. Bloodlust, it will become enraged when the enemy dies. And Jaws. All merfolks will gain 3 attack on 4 or 5 gem matches. A very solid troop right here. Now, what is the banner on this team? The banner on this team is going to be... why am I minusing a... Why am I minusing green? Well, this doesn't make any sense. All right, let's go brown, purple. Let's go brown and green. Brown, green banner. Brown, green. This looks... No, no, no. Let's go double brown. Yeah, this looks a little bit better. The rat banner. I would rather minus like red or something. Let's go brown, green, minus red, brown, green. There we go. Brown, green, minus red. That's what I'm looking for. The Hive banner from the Deep Hive faction. +2 on brown, +1 on green. They were minusing red because, you know, there ain't no red troops on the team. All right, that is the number 2 pick on the list, Zernabog. Let's hop into a fight and showcase what you can do with him. Right, so first assignment is to get mana to Zernabog, and we got mana to almost the entire team with just 1 match. That's what I like to see, man. Every single time I'm making videos, this is what I want the AI to react like, right? Just like that. So we're going to cast our Empress. Then we're going to follow up with some splash damage, true splash damage. Right, now can we get a kill off of the weapon? Is it possible? Ooh la la, we got it. All right, let's cast Zernabog again. Zernabog once more. Yeah, look at that, man. There's no chance for the enemy troops here. No chance whatsoever. Potent team. I love this team. I've been playing with it otherwise, separate and apart from testing the team, and I just simply cannot get enough of it because Zernabog will just allow you to do amazing things. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Number 1 on the list for the top 10 Defender troops in Gems of War. Number 1 is Gorata. Now, Gorata is goated, right? Why is it goated? It's a Daemon troop from Kaziel. See, a lot of these construct troops, or Defender troops, I should say, that are amazing are from that kingdom. Kaziel troop, 15 mana costs for a legend. On the little bit higher side, but not super high. Uses yellow and brown. Spell is Doomstones. It will explode. What is this? Magic +3 gems. Cleanse myself, which is the best part. Cleanse myself, right? Then it has for its traits, it's immunity to fear, fire, and burning. So no triple skull damage with burning against this. Not gonna work. And then it has demonic pact, right? It will have a 25% chance to summon an ancient horror undead, and it has granite skin for the final trait right here, a reduction of skull damage by 75%, right? So imagine that you get inflicted with stun. Cast your Gorgotha, that stun is out of here, right? This troop right here is one of my favorite troops to just spam on Explore 12. I ain't give a rat's ass what they're doing to me. Spam it, get rid of status effect, cast your troop. Spam it, get rid of the status effect, cast your troop. And players have used this from a long time. Players still using it today, right? That's how good of a defender troop Gorgata is. One of the best, man. I love the spell art too. The spell art is goated. All right, this is the Gorgata team right here. Gorgata at the top of the team, followed by Solaritus. This is the Cosmic Dragon for yellow, dealing damage to all enemies, converting yellow gems to yellow dragon gems, 10% chance of an extra turn, boosted by yellow gems, skull and spell damage reduction like the others, and power of sun for the final trait right there. Aurora is going to be on this team as well. Why? For the storm. That's it. Simply for the astronomy final trait. And then Leprechaun for a quick start on this team. Let's make sure we have our proper setup for medals. We're going to be right here in Golvania. Let's take a look at the banner here. The banner on this team is the Guardian banner from the Hall of Guardians faction. It's a +2 on yellow, +1 on brown. I think I should go +2 yellow, +1 on. Should I go brown? Yeah, yeah. Let's go that. Let's keep that the way it is. You can go +2 on +1 on purple as well, but I'm gonna leave it like that. All right, let's hop into this fight, man. Gorgata took it for the #1 spot. I really want to know what you guys think about this, these choices here. They might be controversial. At least I don't think so. But some persons might disagree with me. If you do disagree, let me know. Drop in the comment section. I would love to hear your opinions here. Let's look at how effortless that is. I'm not even thinking about this. I'm just spamming this sucker. Bad boy is just taking the board out to dinner, man. Just eating that sucker up. Let's try it again, man. This is battle number 4. Let's showcase what our Gorgata is able to do. Leprechaun. Come on. Match. Yeah, I don't care what they want to do with those skulls. Those skulls don't mean nothing. Those skulls don't mean nothing. Right? Don't mean a thing. Thing. Don't mean nothing. A thing. Let's go. Big damage. Cast that gore. Spam this again. Keep on spamming that sucker. Right, nothing to worry about. No negative status effect can kill this troop. You're gonna be fine regardless. So yeah, guys, those were the picks for the top 10 defender troops in Gems of War. Let's take a look at it again. Number 10 is Mythron. Number 9 is the Leonis Tower. Number 8 is the Champion of Guard. Number 7 is the Elemental Sentinel. I don't know why I keep on mixing this up. The Elemental Sentinel. Number 6 is Chief Dargon. Number 5 is the Wall of Tentacles tied with the Dwarven Gate. Number 4 is Glacon. Man, such a good troop. Number 3, Ogris, right? Powerhouse right there. Number 2, Zerog, and the number 1 pick went to Gorgata. If you guys and gals found this video helpful and you found this informative and you like this series, spam up the likes and the shares and the comments, man. I want to see the feedback as to what you guys really think about these teams and about these picks. And maybe you guys have some different picks that you think that I should have put into the list. Let me know, drop in the comment section, and I'll be down there responding to your comments. All right, guys, catch y'all next one. Peace.